Hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? Episode 118. And folks, it's my pleasure to come to you each and every Friday night. This episode is no different. This episode is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. Volpe Martial Arts is KW's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido school. That's right. My brother, Sifu Adam, brings you his lifelong passion of martial arts right to your door. Right now it's virtual because of the lockdown, but we'll be open very, very soon as the lockdown is lifted. Check it out, volpemartialarts.com. All right, folks, I get into it again today. 2020, it's another month. Mate, we're back at it. Let me know how you feel about all of this, and let me know. I appreciate all the likes and all the shares and everything. Thanks so much, folks. I love you all. Lily, take it away. Fatso Radio. Like my pink shirt today, folks. Peace.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? Friday, May 7th, folks. Another Friday. It's another Friday, and it is my pleasure to come to you each and every Friday, again, for Fatso Radio. My name is Carlo, Volpe, and it is my pleasure. I've been doing this for over a year, folks, over 2 years now. Every Friday, I want to come to you and give you my story, give you my opinions, my feelings, the knowledge I've read, what I've seen, what I've learned, whether it's anecdotal evidence or whether it's research or whatever it is, based off the ketogenic diet, a paleo diet, our carnivorous diet, all of those things. So today, no different. I'm going to continue where we left off, right, folks? Last week, I mentioned how May has started up, and every other month or in the past, I've always had some sort of a gimmick or some sort of a challenge for the month. And I kind of stopped it for a few months. I did it a year and a half ago, started for a year straight, over a year, push-ups, sit-ups, and crunches. And I took a few months off, many months off, while I was doing other things, working and, still maintaining my activity, but just not the same. So this month I decided I'm going to start it again. 20, folks. And it's really that simple. 20 push-ups, 20 crunches, and 20 squats. And my whole philosophy behind the 20 is to just do something consistently, right? So it's 5-5-5 or 2-2-2 or 10-10-10 or 20-20-20 or 30-30-30 or 40-40-40. Like I was saying in previous episodes, a year and a half ago or so, I basically started at 20 and I went to 30. Every month I jumped by 10 more push-ups, 10 more crunches, 10 more squats. And I got all the way up to 100 last May, I believe. So it was just over a year ago. And it's amazing how it's difficult, of course, to build incrementally, but it's amazing how far you can get to just having these incremental steps. And that's what it's all about, right? Just building. It's two main things that I've learned, many things that I've learned from doing that experiment was basically the value of incremental steps, the value of having a foundation, and then that foundation the next day or whatever you build that day becomes the foundation for the next day, and then you build upon that foundation and the value of that. The other thing that I found, one of the many benefits, just the consistency, the value of doing something every single day, pairing and chaining and many days together. Right. So pairing not today and tomorrow, but the next day together too. And the next day after that, when you do that, when you link many days of productivity together, many good days, right, you get a good week. When you get many good weeks together, you get a good month. When you get many months together, you get a good year. You do something good, you stay on course for many months or a year, you're going to get results, folks. That's how it happens. You stay on the course, you get results. So the 20 is just my way of starting again. Another kickstart. It's not like I'm starting the diet, but I was going to say, it's not like I'm starting the diet over again, but it is, in a sense, a renewed sense of the diet as well. So I'm going to clean up my act, right? That's the idea of just kind of pull in the reins, pull up the socks a little bit to try and be a little bit more on check. And when I say that, I just kind of want to preference it with the idea that it's not like I want to stay on track, or I want to not cheat because I'm afraid to be in trouble or afraid to let myself down. I really feel different when I eat differently. The problem with that is that the problem with acknowledging that you feel different is that that's just not enough. Even though I feel different when I eat crappy food, what makes me put those 2 or 3 days together of crappy food, or what gives me the ability, or what lets me be weak enough to string 2 or 3 days of eating bad food together? I don't know what happens, but I think it's the power of sugar. It's the addictive nature of sugar, and what sugar does to us. Maybe I'm not the only one, of course, but maybe not everybody's this way. But anyway, back to what I'm doing about the 20. It's a great way for me to say, no bullshit. Let's go again. Let's go, whether it's 20 or 30 or whatever it is, folks. And like I said, whether it's just push-ups, crunches, or squats, I want to incorporate more than that. If you can do pull-ups, do some pull-ups. Want to do some deadlifts, do some curls, do whatever you want to do. With that, of course, this month I wanted to add more walking, and I've started to add walking back to my routine again. Walking is something I've always loved. It's funny because I never really realized that I've liked it until I can't say. Let me rewind. That's not something I've always loved. It's something that I've really loved within the last 4 or 5 years, and it's remarkable to me actually how much I love it. Sorry, I'm actually surprised how much I love it, and to prove, I guess, so how much I do love it is that I actually just forgot that I didn't always love it. So I actually used to hate walking. I used to hate. There's a lot of exercises I used to hate, but I'm kind of chalking up the idea, and I'm starting to realize over the years that it's not necessarily the exercises that I really hated, or even for that matter, I didn't really even dislike them. Sometimes it's the state I was in and how I felt when I was trying to do those exercises, or even before that, how I felt before I was asked to do those exercises, or before I started those exercises. So something like martial arts, when I was a kid, I hesitated with martial arts. I resisted. I didn't want to go. I complained. I always made up excuses. And it turns out, knowing now as an adult, it's that it was my physical readiness. You don't know that as a kid, right? But now knowing as an adult is that when my physical readiness isn't my physical ability or my physical fitness, it's just readiness, right? When my ability to get ready and get up and do something, to go run a mile or go play sports for an hour, or go train kung fu or martial arts for an hour or something. When I'm not in that readiness state, I don't feel good, first of all, and tasks seem a lot harder to me when I'm not in that state. And that's a weird thing for me. Maybe it's not weird for everybody else. Maybe it makes complete sense to you guys, but I haven't really thought about it too much until recently. And that's what it is. When I'm out of my state, when I'm out of my readiness state, I guess when I'm out of my fitness or whatever you want to call it, a lot of things seem more difficult. But then when I'm in that state, whether it's doing the 20-20-20, a perfect example is the 20-20-20, because whether it was 20 push-ups a day or whether it was 100 push-ups a day, that gave me confidence, and that gave me, and it still does give me confidence, and it gives me the kind of the motivation and the inspiration to keep on going, thinking, hey, I'm doing this every single day. It's funny, and I got some feedback from my brother, Sifu Adam. Adam, love you, brother. He gave me some feedback a couple times this week going, oh my God, this sucks. Doing this every single day. Yeah. He's like, I did it for a whole year. And that's right. I did it for a whole year. And it is amazing sometimes, to think about the fact that you do for a whole year, but there's people that have done many things for many, many, many years. So back to the whole 2020, when you stop, that's the interesting thing. So I went to 100 a day, right? I was doing that for a whole month, and then I decided, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go back to 20. And then I did 30 for a while. And then I did nothing for a few months, but I was doing other things. But then again, starting to 20 again, man, when I started that 20 on Sunday or Monday, whatever the first was, it was hard. It was like 20, even today, doing those 20, it's not that easy, right? It's it's going to get easier next week. It's going to get easier next month. Of course, I'm going to add more things to it to make it more difficult. Cause that's the whole thing. When it gets easier, you want to raise the bar a little bit, because you don't want it to be easy. You want it to be you want it to be challenging. And that's how your body adapts to it. But it was difficult. And that's what I want to get into as well, is that not only there's benefits to maintaining an exercise, the mental benefits, the physical benefits, of course. And this is one of the physical benefits that I want to say, is that when you stop, you really do lose your gains, or you really do lose some of that ability, or your ability gets lowered from where it was. You lose some of that strength, you lose some of that endurance. Yes, and you can build it back again, and yes, I'll build it back again, and no problem. Maybe it takes me a little bit longer than it would have when I was 20 years old as opposed to when I'm 40 years old, but I'm not worried about that at all, because what I'm talking about is not something, or these activities that I'm talking about are not things that are super, super difficult. And you don't need to be an elite athlete to do push-ups. You don't need to be an elite athlete to do crunches or squats or anything like that. 99% of the exercises out there, you don't need to be an elite athlete to do. And so again, staying or getting back into it is difficult, right? Getting back into it is difficult. And there's all these different feelings. I want to talk about the emotional side too. So when I'm out of that readiness state, when I'm out of that fitness state where I feel like I can get up and jump and go and play a sport or shoot hoops or play football, whatever the case may be, hit the bag for half an hour or whatever. When I'm not in that state, it's just like the default is lazy. and it's so weird. Maybe I'm unique in this. Maybe you're not. I'm not unique. Let me know if you also encounter this. fatsoradio@gmail.com. Good time to remind everybody, I'm not a doctor, folks. I'm just giving you my advice. I'm giving you my just from the heart, just my experience and kind of what it's like, what I've been experiencing. And that's the thing, is that you just feel, for me, I feel really lazy. And then when you feel lazy, you become your actions are lazy, right? Not often you say, oh, I feel really lazy, but I'm going to go out and run 10 miles anyway. If you're that person that's going to do that anyway, then great. Your definition of lazy is much different than other people. Or when you become really good at overcoming laziness, and that's a trick, and that's a skill, and that's something that you need to work at. And this is one of the things that getting back into the 2020 really is a reminder to me. It's like getting back on the horse, getting where in the past, if I fell off the exercise horse or the fitness horse or the not a real horse, folks, but the diet train or whatever it is, and I've spoken about this before, is that it would take me longer to get back on track, and it would be even harder to get back on track. And then over the years, I just got better at it, right? And that's the key. And I do believe that that's something that people should strive for, is that don't beat yourself up when you fall off, but get better at getting back on the horse, whether it's fitness or whether it's diet, right? And this is the same thing. So getting back, whether it's, if you're going for a walk regularly, or if you used to go for walks and you want to get back into it, get back into it. Don't be afraid of, I'm going to be sore, or push-ups or physical activities, going to the gym. Perfect example. Anybody who's ever lifted weights, anybody who's ever done things like dance or any sports really, or any physical activities. Sports is the first thing that comes to my mind, and weightlifting actually are the first things that come to my mind. But when you take a big break from weightlifting and you start again, oh my goodness. Like, yeah, every muscle in your body is sore. Most of those muscles you use, well, not most of them, but a lot of those muscles you use during specific weight training exercises, you don't use in regular life, So when you lift some weights, or when you do something you haven't done, like for example, last week I chopped a bunch of wood in my backyard. Oof, I haven't done that in a while. The next day you're sore, your obliques are sore, your lats are sore, your hamstrings are sore, your glutes are sore, your calves are sore. You're like, my calves are sore. Yeah, everything's sore. My forearms are sore. Like it's chopping wood, right? It's a lot of energy, a lot of action going on. So I was sore with that. If I was chopping wood every single day, you'd get into that shape. And that's kind of like that conditioning or that readiness I was saying earlier. But when the longer you're out of it, for me, the harder it is to get back into it. So one of the things that I'm trying to get better at as well is not only getting better at getting back on track, right? But having these breaks shorter in between. When I do fall off the horse, get back on quicker too. So I'm not going to take a 6-month break from something. If I do take a break for a couple of days or whatever, I'm going to just kind of, get back on track a little bit quicker than possible. And it comes with a lot of emotions. There's a lot of guilt that is associated for a lot of people, not everybody, but for a lot of people, there's guilt that is associated with working out. We've bombarded our whole lives with messages and media about working out, go outside, get active, participation and all that stuff. We all heard those radio advertisements and TV commercials growing up on get out there and get moving. And that's great. We all need to do that. We all need to get up. We all need to get moving. But sometimes, it's quite daunting for a lot of people. If you're out of shape, if you have a weight problem, if you have any kind of health issues, any kind of injuries, you just can't get up and go. So I get that, right? So it is about little steps. It's about baby steps. And that's why I want to harp on the whole 20 I should call it 1-1-1, right? Because it doesn't really matter how many you're doing, but you're doing a bunch of these things, and you're going to incorporate it, and you're going to make it an everyday thing. You're trying to make it a routine, and it's going to add to your life. So I don't really talk about what I have last year, I'm sure in the past, talk about what benefits, what this 2020 really does to me. But I want to speak on it just again for a second this time around, I guess, because just to maybe reflect on it, a year and a half in or 2 years into when I started it, the 2020, or I'll call it the morning ritual, the push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, whatever it may be. It really is hard. Anybody who does their morning ritual is probably listening to me and looking and watching me. Thanks for watching. But you're probably listening to this thinking, yeah, we know it's hard, but we just do it anyway. We're tough. The gals who get up and run every morning, they know it's tough, and they still go up there with sore feet, or they still go out there, scrapes and bumps. And the guys and gals who go out there riding and all the other exercises, they know. But the people who don't, it's not easy. It's not easy. So the people who, I would say the people who, I'm one of these people who can sit down on the couch and watch other people running outside or watch other people. I've been that person, right? But I've also been that person who goes outside and runs and goes outside. So I've been on both sides of the fence, and I think I can accurately speak from both sides, because I've been super, super sedentary. And then I've been what some people would consider super active. Some people consider my super activity level not active at all, but that doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is that I think I can speak from some sort of experience. It's hard. It's hard to get up in the morning and go. And like I said, when you're sitting down, or whether you're sitting down, but when you're someone who doesn't get up every single morning and go, sometimes we have the tendency to think, wow, I wish I just have that energy to do that. You know, that's, if I had a nickel for every time I thought that 20 years ago and heard that these days, I would be rich. Everybody would be rich, because it's one of the most common things I hear. And the funny thing is that energy comes, like that energy, the energy to do that every day, it's not there. It's not there day one. I really think you need to cultivate that energy. You need to build that energy. It's like a turbine, right? Every day that you latch on another day of exercise, every day that you pair on another day from the day before, right? You're gonna succeed a little bit more. You're gonna add a little bit more to your progress, and that is gonna build momentum, and that's gonna build that energy. That's gonna keep that fire going to propel you to the next day, right? If you've been doing an exercise for 5 days, it's easier to do it that 6th day. And I've spoken about this many times. It's easier to do it that 6th day because you have 5 days of momentum behind you. And that's why I kick myself when I've stopped in the past. That's why so many people kick themselves in the butt when they've stopped in the past, because momentum is everything. You know, so many of us can acknowledge, and I can acknowledge, that we're creatures of habits. And I'm the best when I'm a true creature of habits, of those good habits, of course, right? And so when the benefits of stacking those days together and linking them together and getting some real progress, or even if you're at a state where you're completely happy, then you're going to get, you know, sustained maintenance, right? And sustained maintenance of a healthy life is great. And you can do all the things you want to do, but it is tough. So give yourself some credit if you're doing it as well. If tomorrow's your first day, if May 1st was your first day and you did one push-up and one crunch and one sit-up, give yourself a pat on the back. And I'm not trying to be funny. Give yourself a pat on the back because you didn't do it yesterday. And if you do it again tomorrow, good. Give yourself a virtual pat on the back. Now it's not so hard, right? Because you did it the day before. Now when you do your 3rd day again, great. Do your 4th day, do your 5th day, do your 6th day. When you get to your 6th or 7th day or 8th day, today's the 7th. When you wake up tomorrow morning and you say to yourself, I just did push-ups for 7 days straight. When was the last time I did that? I don't know. Well, I'm going to do it today again, 8. And even if you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do them. I'm telling you folks, I did not want to do the push-ups today. And this is me not wanting to do 20 push-ups when last year, this time I was doing 100 push-ups in the morning before work. So you just got to do it, right? And you have to do it and remember that you will build on today. Tomorrow's steps become easier because of today's foundation. And that's just the bottom line. You can't leap to tomorrow. You can't get to day 4. You have to start at day 1. And it's not going to get easier. There's no tricks. And it's just go and do it. That's it. So how's it been going for me? It's been going pretty good. I mean, I can't really complain too much, although I've been swearing a little bit at my house. I've been getting motivation from my kids. They're saying, you know, Papa, you can do it. My wife says you can do it. My brother's doing it, which is great. Thanks, Adam, for doing it. I love it. My sister, Mariana's doing it. My mother-in-law is doing it. Marguerite, thank you so much. I love you, Baba. Thank you so much for doing it. And everybody, I love that you're doing it. Send me your clips, your videos, your pictures, whatever you want to do, fatsoradio@gmail.com. Send them to the Facebook page. You can put them right on our group. I love to see it. And I love to hear people doing it. Like I said, and I always say this, it doesn't matter how big it is. It's not just the thought that counts, but in this case, that little action, that action is what counts. It counts so much because this action is going to carry you to tomorrow. And that's all it is about life, right, folks? It's just about setting yourself in a position to do good tomorrow, right? And to do good today, of course, as well. The first thing to do good today is to start something if you haven't started yet. That's what I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about for May is, I just want to ask everybody, how's your month of May going for the month of May as far as eating meat? That was a hard way of getting that out. But a lot of people for the month of May are eating more meat. Some people are saying no meat for May. Some people are saying more meat. I'm encouraging people to eat more meat. I'm encouraging people every single day to eat more meat because we need to fight back against the message we've been hearing. We've been hearing for a long time that meat is the problem. Meat is not the problem, folks. It's not the problem. Here's how you know it's not the problem. There are many, many, many people that have turned to a ketogenic diet that are eating a high meat, a high volume, high ratio of animal protein in that ketogenic diet. And furthermore, there are a lot of people that are into a carnivore diet. On top of that, there are a lot of people that are just eating a paleo diet in their mind, but they're eating a lot of meat. A lot of these people are eating a very meat-heavy diet and are seeing a lot of benefits. You may think that you may not need a fully carnivorous diet, and you may not need a fully carnivorous diet, but the benefits that you can see from that may be amazing for you. And it may not just be, like I said, it may not be that you need fully carnivorous, but you may find that you're removing a lot of the things that you thought were healthy or you thought were beneficial or even at least neutral. Maybe they weren't neutral. Maybe they were actually hindering you from whatever gains you were trying to get or whatever progress you were trying to get to, whether it's weight loss or whether it's a lot of different ailments. You know, there's a lot of autoimmune issues, and I talk about this sometimes, but there's a lot of autoimmune issues that people are having, everything from the joint pain to gut issues, to inflammation, to nervous system issues. A lot of these issues are being addressed. And a lot of people are feeling a lot better by eating a meat heavy diet. And it makes sense. Animal products are the most nutrient dense food in the world. Pound for pound, gram for gram, it is indisputable. There's no argument that animal food are the most nutrient dense food in the world. So if you need, and this is my opinion, it's not medical, it's just me, brother Carlo, telling you my opinion. If we're trying to heal something and we truly believe that food is our medicine, then we should use the food that is the most powerful food as our medicine. And that's my opinion as well. So that's what I think. And that's why I do go to things like liver and things like beef and beef tallow and all the animals and eggs and salmon and just different animals and protein and fat, because that's where the vitamins come from. That's where the protein comes from, the most bioavailable protein. And that's what our cells need. That's what our cells need to repair themselves, to reproduce themselves. And we need fat for the energy, but we need protein to protect ourselves. Our immune system needs the protein. The protein is needed for collagen, for our nails, for our skin, for our joints, for everything, for our hair, for our teeth. Protein is needed for all of that. All of that. The best protein comes from animal sources. Okay. If you haven't tried to eat more meat, but if you're still open to eating more meat, let me be the guy to suggest it. Again, talk to your doctor, folks. If you have any questions at all about your diet, talk to a dietitian, talk to a nutritionist. Find one that is into carnivore. Find one that is into at least ketogenic diet or even a kind of a Paleolithic way of eating, and they'll be more into kind of up to speed with what's going on. How do you feel? If you are doing the meat diet, if you are eating more meat, let me know how you feel. How's it going for you? Have you lost weight? Have you not lost weight? In general, if you've done a ketogenic diet, if you're listening to this podcast, I want to hear from you. If you're watching this podcast, I want to hear from you. I want to see a clip from you. I want to see some push-ups or crunches or squats or whatever you want to do. Hit me up, folks. fatsoradio@gmail.com. This is just a short one tonight. Just want to tell everybody what's going on. I want to give you an update again. 2020. I want to keep it up. There's new things I want to try. My sister's trying to convince me to do some handstands or headstands. Sounds a little dangerous, but I like danger, so I might get into it. I love everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification button, share it, get notified when all the videos come out. Don't forget to check out our other podcast, Centerville Voice, where my good buddy Desmond and we talk a little bit about politics. I don't get into politics too much on this show, but I may a little bit from time to time. And that show, we really talk about a lot of politics. We talk about the left, we talk about the right, we talk about being in the center, and that's our voice. We want to be moderate. Check it out, Centerville Voice, centervillevoice.com as well. Thanks so much, folks. I love you all. Happy Friday. Peace. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show.